What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Forge for Greatness. I'm your host, Chris LaForgia. This podcast is for the builders, the creators, and the underdogs who are forging their own path. It's not just about the wins, it's about the struggles, the pressure, the mistakes we all make along the way, and the moments that actually forge us. Today, I have the honor and privilege of having on Angelo with the Rizzitello Removals. Is that the name of the company?
Rizzitello Removals.
Okay.
Yep.
Pleasure, bro.
Hey.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I'm excited about it.
How you feeling?
First podcast, first interview. So if I bomb, I'm sorry.
First podcast ever.
I've never been asked to be on a podcast. I've never been interviewed other than a job. And so I'm excited. I'm getting into
Well, this is not an interview it's not a job interview.
I'm excited to be on a podcast because that's the thing now.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. So diving into your childhood first, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Bloomfield, New Jersey. It's Essex County.
Okay.
Border of Clifton and Nutley, that section of Bloomfield.
Got it.
It's awesome place to grow up.
What was that environment like?
The environment, I had a great childhood. Lifelong friends I still keep in contact with.
Yeah.
Guys that were in my wedding, I talk to them every day. These are kids that I've known since kindergarten, preschool. Mm-hmm. And I had a very, loving, supportive family at home. And it was an old school upbringing in Bloomfield. Where I specifically lived, my neighborhood, that's where everyone wanted to hang out and where we played outside. I lived in a street that kind of went into a cul-de-sac. So we were, baseball, basketball, football, hockey, wiffle ball, running bases, wall ball. Anything you can think of that we played outside, we did it. Skateboarding, bike riding, rollerblading, all day, every day. And then when the lights came on, the street lights, and it got dark, we played Manhunt, which I think is a game that kids don't even know what that is. Have you ever seen kids play Manhunt?
I know what it is.
Well, yeah.
We're the same. We're the same age, so yeah.
But do you think the kids these days know what Manhunt is? Like
they're
when the lights
glued to
come
their
on, they're
phones.
hiding in people's yards and behind trees.
No.
That was my upbringing. I loved it. And
They're playing Manhunt. They're playing Manhunt, but on their phones.
Yeah.
On their fucking phones.
Of course, yeah. I haven't seen a kid in my backyard yet hiding behind a shed or something.
Dude, those were the days, man.
It was amazing. And you know what? We grew up in the generation, we're the same age, where the computers and the gaming systems were just getting hot where we were. But if you were the type of kid that was outside, like I was the type of kid that wanted to be outside, then when I went home after doing my homework, whatever, that's when I started playing Nintendo 64, PlayStation, etc., Dreamcast, all those things.
Gotcha.
But I loved being outside, and all my friends, like I said, my block was the spot to be at. It was amazing. I wouldn't.
And now you live in the block that you're supposed to be at.
Apparently,
it's crazy.
Apparently, I relocated here, and I love it here. Great place to raise a family. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I found
You're in East
out
Hanover now, right?
East Hanover,
Yep.
And I found out that my block is a spot for trick-or-treaters, young families moving in, and I love it.
Yeah,
I'm very fortunate.
I grew up on your street. I grew up on Petrie Drive.
Really?
First house.
You know what?
First house was Petrie, on Petrie, 8 Petrie.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So you know what it's about.
Yeah, dude.
I'm trying to keep that alive.
Fucking miss those days.
Yeah. Well,
Manhunt.
I got at least your brother's with me.
Yeah. Manhunt, ding dong ditching. Oh, man.
Ding dong ditch. That was another one. Fuck. That was. I feel so guilty about stuff like that. It was innocent fun.
Dude, it's
What's to think
what's that word? Nostalgic, dude.
Oh,
I'm just going back to those days right now.
I can't believe you brought up Ding Dong Ditch because I left that one out.
Yeah.
And Ding Dong Ditch, in hindsight, thinking about this, some poor old guy was sitting on his recliner watching his programs. We rang his doorbell. It took him forever to get up. He went to the door. Just to open the door and find
and then if
kids
you do it
laughing
multiple times, man, poor guy.
I'm sorry for anyone that may watch this. If I rang your doorbell and ran away, I didn't know better then. Sorry.
So, supportive environment, fun environment, right, that you grew up in.
Yep.
Any adversity as a child?
What do you mean?
Like any mistakes, any challenges, any failures as a child?
No, as a child,
You were perfect.
No, I wish it was. I was always, the only thing I can think of, so Bloomfield was my neighborhood. So I grew up in the north side, like I said, it was the border of Nutley and Clifton. We had the south side, which was the border of, Newark, East Orange, parts of Belleville. And the only adversity and challenges is when the north side and the south side met. We all had our elementary schools. The north side was here, south side was here. When we met in middle school, it was like a Tupac and Biggie beef, you would think. Like people had animosity because I've never seen you before. They wanted to fight and this and that. And I was the smallest kid growing up. Like growing up, I was small.
Yeah.
I didn't hit a growth spurt until the summer going into my junior year of high school. So in elementary school, I was the smallest kid. Middle school, I was one of the smallest kids. So as you can imagine, I've been tested plenty of times in my life.
Yeah.
And that's it. But like,
So you were bullied in a sense?
There was, yes. It's hard to admit, but yes, there was times I remember in middle school. I despise school, and I think it's derived from that. But there was times where I avoided going down certain hallways and stuff. That's how life was like for a small period of time.
Yeah.
Until, one day that all changed.
Yeah. So the way you described the north side and the south side, you ever seen the movie The Outsiders?
Yeah.
That's what came to mind.
Yeah, but it's nothing like this. It's so ironic because the south side wasn't bad. Like when I grew up there, it's not like the south side was bad, the north side was good, the north side was bad, the south side was good. It was just like, I don't know. It was just different. We didn't see them other than if you were on the all-star baseball team and maybe you played the south end, they had all different divisions and sections. So I think it was just more so like kids felt like they had something to prove at that age.
Yeah.
And ironically, the part I laugh about now is a lot of the kids from the south that used to go around, and at the time the style was like super long white t-shirts and whatever, and they would always claim that they were from Newark, and I as a kid I was like, I knew they were full of shit because you went to school in Bloomfield.
Yeah.
And ironically, my family was the actual family that was from Newark. They were, and I grew up on this north side where like they looked at me like, oh, this kid was fed with a silver spoon his whole life, and I'm like, I've earned everything I've ever gotten in my life.
Yeah.
And I was brought up with the most old school Italian upbringing.
I'm glad you're getting into that because I was going to ask you, what was family life like? What were your parents like?
My parents, very loving, very supporting. They weren't, I'm not going to say they were crazy super strict, but they had old school Italian upbringing. So like my dad and mom had expectations for me and my brother. Like, you're going to do good. You're going to not get in trouble, this and that. And if we got in trouble, which we did, everyone has, we were held accountable. My parents...
Belt to ass or what?
Wooden spoon.
Wooden spoon?
Yeah. So my how do I say this? My dad, especially because he was, obviously the dominant one, he held us accountable if we messed up. And in hindsight, I hated it. I mean, I'm sorry. Then I hated it. In hindsight, I appreciated it. Yeah. I'm happy and grateful for my father for being my father and not trying to be my best friend. Yeah. There's a big difference there. I used to envy my friends whose dads treated them like their best friends. And now that I think about it, in the long run, it benefited me more that my father was, I'm your father. And there's rules as long as you're in my house, whatever.
Yeah.
And I think to my parents, me and my brother turned out good. Yeah. But it goes beyond them also. Like my grandparents, I miss them every day, but I was fortunate enough to have my grandparents for most of my life. My friends didn't have that. I have friends that have 1, 2, maybe if they're lucky, 3 I had all 4 of my grandparents alive for the majority of my life. And I looked up to them so much. Yeah. And the way they just showed us so much love, so much support. And I always still to this day, decisions I make, I think about them, and I'm like, they're watching me, and the least I can do that I owe them is I'm gonna do right.
Fucking love that.
It's great, and my parents too. Like I said, they weren't super strict. I had a later curfew than most of my friends, but my dad was big on like no drinking, no drugs, no gambling. They come from Newark. My parents were born and raised in Newark. My grandparents born and raised in Newark. When my family came over from Italy, they were born and raised in Newark, so they've seen it all. They lived through it all. Mm-hmm. And all they wanted was for their kids to do right.
Love it.
Yeah.
Biggest lesson that you received from either your parents or your grandparents that's carried with you to this day?
I would say the biggest lesson is to do right, be a good person, work hard, work honest. Don't cut corners. Don't do illegal things. Again, we've all made mistakes, whatever. But in my adult life, as I matured in life, I think about all their teachings all the time. And it really shapes every decision I make because I felt like the least I could do, I owe it to them. They've invested so much love into me, time. They've done everything for me. I had such a good upbringing. Like I said, my grandparents were amazing, and they really instilled in being like my grandparents. Even when they started getting sick, they never missed mass. They would watch church on TV.
Yeah.
And they, that's what they lived by. They wanted you to do good. They want you to be honest. And, that's how in my business is based on that.
Yeah. Love it. I'm really like following along with everything that you're saying. So I forgot if I asked you, but like, what was your first taste of success or your first real win as a child? Did I ask you that?
No.
Okay. Just making sure.
Like no, I've done like sports growing up and stuff, and I was a good athlete. But all that stuff, any accomplishments I'd done in sports, I never really looked at it like success. I never really took it way too serious.
Yeah.
So to answer that from like being a young guy, I would say, you're going to think this is so petty, to be honest with you. When I was in high school, I would say it was around my sophomore year. I knew I wasn't going to college. I just knew it. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew it would have been a waste of time, a waste of my parents' money. Like, I just didn't want to go to school. And I was fortunate enough that my parents were willing to actually like pay for it. But I had a guidance counselor when I finally was like, listen, you keep pushing me. You're telling me to apply. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to school. And my mom knows about this. I have a few best friends growing up that know about this. We still to this day joke about it.
Yeah.
And my guidance counselor told me that if you don't go to college, you're going to be flipping burgers for the rest of your life. And I'm going to transition this to how it's a success story for me. Now, the average kid, I didn't agree with that message, because not everyone's built like me. Like, I'm mentally very tough, but there are people that are more vulnerable than me, more insecure than me. And maybe they're confused and on the fence about what they want to do. But at that time, they were pushing, if you didn't do that, then you were done, right? Like, that's what she's telling me. Like, I guess, I'm not insulting anyone who flips burgers for a living, but she was doing that. And I know what she was getting at. And I was like, that lit a fire under my ass. And it changed my perspective of life, and it changed so much stuff that even relates to my business. I never let anyone, like, from that day on, I was like, my goal is to prove her wrong. I'm going to prove her wrong. Like, if you call me out on something, if you doubt me, I have everything else in life pauses, and my motivation is to prove you wrong. And that's how I was. And it sounds crazy, like petty, like, right? But it shaped me into the person. I still think about this lady all the time. And maybe she had good intentions. Maybe she was really trying to motivate me. I don't know. I just think it was wrong because
she did motivate you, though.
She motivated. No, that worked. But the other guy maybe would have fell through the cracks and been like, oh, I have nothing, to go for me now because I'm not going to college. I can't afford it, or I don't want to go. And that lit a fire under my ass that to this day, I never let anybody dictate what I do, what I want to do, anything like that. It's crazy.
Fucking love it. Listen, I love the dark energy. I love when people doubt me, when people say that I can't do something. I live off of that shit.
I don't think I would be in the position I am if I didn't have that in my life, because that is what solely motivates. There's two things that really motivate me: naysayers and my family.
Mm-hmm. So there's a podcast that I was listening to maybe a week or two ago, and the guy was saying that you should send a thank you letter to everyone that's ever doubted you.
That'd be amazing.
Just thanking them.
I like that a lot.
Like, it's so fucking true, though.
How can I find their address, though?
You got Google, you got ChatGPT now. You can find anything.
Yeah, you're right. I actually love that.
Yeah.
That's amazing, because she did, without even knowing, have a very positive impact on my life. And like I said, I still today, I think about her all the time. And I think about that situation. I remember where I was. I remember being in her office and her telling me that. And immediately I felt like my face getting hot. I was so mad. And I was like, why is she saying that? Like, I can't be successful if I don't spend all this money and go to college to get a piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like I was ahead of my time when it came to that. No one pushed trade schools. No one pushed entrepreneurship. They didn't teach that.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big mistake in today's society. And I'm starting to see that now it's getting exposed more. But I'm not knocking college. Like if you don't know what you want to do, or you have a profession where you need college, I'm all for it. But
Yeah.
and also like my parents really wanted me to go, but they had good intentions because I mean at the end of the day, what was I in sophomore year, 15, 16-year-old kid? They're thinking in their head like he doesn't know what he really wants to do. Like I don't want to see him fall through the cracks because a lot of my friends like. I'll give my mom credit if she ever watches this. She was right. She said, you're going to grow up with kids that a lot of them are going to die and a lot of them are going to go to jail. Not a lot, but like some kids that you grow up with, you never expect. And
Yeah.
she was spot on. There's so many kids where I grew up with that went down dark paths. They're dead now. They went to prison. And I understand my parents worrying and I understand them wanting what's best for me and thinking that was the route. But they didn't, I don't think, know how my mindset was, how I was built. And I just knew I was not going to be a failure. I wouldn't accept that.
Yeah. Love it. So going back to, you were just briefly talking about education system and how it is and how it might be getting better, right? But like they teach history, they teach like Civil War and like all this, like, are you really going to be able to use that stuff? They should be teaching how this guy built this business and this guy inspired all these millions of people. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the type of shit that they should be teaching in school these days.
I agree with you 100%.
You know?
For me, like history, I guess if you have to fill in the day, it's cool to learn history if you're into it. Science too, like how, things work and all that. I was never good at either of those two. Math was my biggest gripe because, I mean, I'm doing these problems where it's like, 2/3 times 0.150. I'm like, I've never used any of that in my life.
Yeah.
And I wish, like, you leave school, you don't know how to write out a check, but, you got to send a big check when you want to go to college. It's just like, it's just bizarre to me that, like, they should focus on more life skills that they don't. And one of my biggest gripes is that they tell you that if you want to go to school, don't let not having the money stop you. You can get financial aid and you can get student loans. They don't explain to you that you got to pay back that $75,000. And it was always an issue to me. One of the things that like I always talk about, and it hits home for me. I don't have student loans, but people who have student loans, was how can you be a 16, 17-year-old kid, get approved for $100,000 in student loans, but if you went to the same person and said, here's my business plan, I want $100,000 to buy a multifamily house. Here are the rents that I can get off this multifamily house. Here are the taxes. I'm showing you that I can make this work if you give me that loan. The numbers are here. It'll work for me. No 17, 16-year-old kid can get a loan from a bank. It's impossible. But why can you get a loan to go to a college that you don't even know what you want to do for a living? You're going there to play beer pong.
It's crazy when you put that into that
I mean, have you ever thought about that?
Yeah. Not till now, but yeah, it's crazy.
You're going to be thinking about that tonight.
Yeah. Oh, man. Staying on childhood, right?
Yeah.
So would you say the wins or the losses shaped you more into the person that you are today?
Wow. See, the thing with the wins is it gives you confidence, which is very important. Wins, you need confidence to be successful, to really get to your max potential. But I'm going to go with the losses because with the losses you learn and you grow. And I've had both plenty of wins and I've had plenty of losses. And I cherish the losses more. I think it developed me more into just learning a lesson and being resilient, never giving up.
Yeah.
Like the losses, like... It's like you got a Rocky picture right here. So remember when he says it's not how hard you get hit. It's not, what is it?
It's not how hard you hit.
It's how hard you could get hit and keep moving forward.
Moving forward, yeah.
That's the losses.
Yeah.
So if you experience your first loss and you stay down and never get up, but if you say, you know what, whatever, I'm going to learn from this. I'm going to keep going.
Keep going.
To me, the losses were, that's what molded me.
That much more valuable.
100%. Yeah.
Transitioning now into your business, Rizzitello Removal, right? When was the aha moment? When was that forging moment that you said, I have to do this? I have to build this company.
The aha moment was I worked so many jobs, like I'm talking like not careers, jobs, and where there's really no room for too much growth and all that, and you're just working for someone else, making someone else rich. And I would say the aha moment was really every time I left a job, I never left on bad terms. I've always left on good terms. But the boss or the supervisor would go up to me and be like, well, what could we do to make you stay? Like, I mean, is it the money? Is it the scale? What do you want?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting here, I'm like, why are they being so nice to me? I'm clearly a great employee. I mean, I've ran people's businesses. I've been multiple jobs where the owner's nowhere near to be found. They put it on me,
Yeah.
and I'm making an hourly wage off you while you're getting rich. So I was like, why the hell am I going to do that? I'll do it for myself.
Yeah.
And the benefit to me owning my own business is I'm making my own schedule. I used to feel guilty like calling out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't get sick often, so it wasn't like calling out, oh, I'm under the weather. But like, if I had an event or something to do, or if someone invited me somewhere,
Yeah.
I always felt guilty with an employer saying, I felt like I was letting them down.
Yeah.
And I hated that feeling.
That feeling sucks.
Yeah. So I was just like, why can't I start my own thing? Like, part of my business, I started my business in demolition. Since then, I focused more on garbage. I do like still light demolition work, but like I was working for a demolition guy, and the guy loved me. And I was brave. You know what it was? He hired me as actually a supervisor because he had a lot at the time. This was years ago, but he had a lot of like I guess illegals or whatever. They didn't have driver's licenses, and they were just laborers. And he just needed someone to drive him from job to job.
Yeah.
And I earned the respect of these guys because I couldn't just sit in a van and watch them work. I would be breaking plaster walls.
Yeah.
I would be doing the work with them. And that also transitioned when I worked for a roofing company. I was a supervisor. I was running job sites for roofing and a siding company. And the guys it was August, they're on a roof. I'm looking at them. It's got to be like 120 degrees up there.
You went up there with them?
Instead of me sitting in an air-conditioned van and just being the supervisor from when the homeowner comes out and was like, oh, they want to talk to somebody that spoke English. And
Yeah.
I was up there. I was helping the laborer downstairs on the ground, throwing stuff in the dumpster. I was cleaning up the job site. I couldn't sit still, and they respected me. They loved me because in their eyes, they're like, oh, most Americans aren't like that.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, like, it's amazing that you did that because most contractors, most business owners, most general managers, like you said, they're fucking sitting in their car with the AC on and fucking watching. A podcast.
Maybe I'm the sucker. I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid for doing it. But like,
you're doing
like
it
I said,
right.
It all comes back to like the old school Italian hard work ethic that was instilled in me from a young age. And I just can't sit around. You could ask my wife. I am so antsy. I cannot just relax. I can't. Like I'm up early every day on my days off. If I have a day off ever, I'm up early. And I'm just pacing. My wife always says to me, she goes, you're pacing again, you're pacing. I was like, well, I can't sleep late. I can't do that. I'm not built like that. My mind is a million miles per hour.
Yeah.
You know?
As a business owner, bro, you're always thinking about the next thing, right?
You're always the next thing.
Yeah.
Worrying about upcoming jobs and all that. Yeah.
So when did you launch your business? Like what year was that?
2020 during COVID.
Okay.
It was horrible.
Like
because my business is very, very regulated by New Jersey.
Okay.
It's probably the most regulated industry, the garbage business, in New Jersey specifically, though. Nowhere else.
Yeah.
Only New Jersey. And if you knew what I had to go through just to get this license, how long it took and everything, now mix COVID into the fact that offices were closed. So the DEP was closed. The state was closed. It took me over 2 years to get my license just to throw garbage out.
Oh my God.
At the end of the day, I'm a garbage man.
Yeah.
I was a police officer. I'm a fireman. I went through the most vigorous background checks for those two careers. This one was more vigorous. I got a background check from the FBI for a federal background check. I got a background check from the state police for a local background check. It was insane. Mm-hmm. The process, the application process, the cost. They have attorneys. There's actually attorneys that specialize in the license is called A901 in New Jersey.
A901?
A901. That's just like a garbage license. The garbage guy, company that picks up your garbage every day, they have that. The junk removal company, they have that. It's how you get into the dumps and dump garbage. You need a license. There's lawyers that specialize just in that licensing. That's how you know it's a racket. Like it's so complex that most people have to hire an attorney. I had to hire an attorney to get a garbage license.
That's wild.
Bro, I had like a retainer that I keep replenishing every time I sent them an email. I had to write a letter to the district attorney general of New Jersey as to why my character is sufficient to throw garbage out. I said, how about the fact that when I was 21 years old, I had arresting powers and they gave me a gun? Was that not enough of a background check?
Oh, Jesus.
I'm throwing garbage out here. But like I said, it's only in New Jersey.
That's
Nowhere
wild.
else.
That's
Nowhere.
fucking wild.
It's crazy.
Was that your biggest challenge early on in the business, would you say?
Well, I'll tell you what, I almost quit before I started. And because of this process, I mean, when you're waiting 2 years to do something,
Yeah.
I was working for that roofing and siding company at the time just to have a second income while I waited.
Yeah.
And then people were calling me. So here's what's crazy. To get your A901 license, prior to applying for the license, and I think the licensing fee at the time was like you had to pay $600 or $1,200 just to apply. That doesn't mean you're getting it, just to apply. And prior to that, you had to show proof of business insurance. So I had my regular business insurance. I had my commercial vehicle insurance, which is astronomical.
Yeah.
I had to have an LLC formed already. And I had to have all this stuff. And because it took 2 years, I renewed insurance policies twice before I was even able to start. Like, so I started in the hole in debt.
Yeah.
And I was like, is this worth it? And I just stuck it out.
What made you stick it out, though?
I always wondered, what if I quit now and I never pursue this, what would my life be 3 years, 4 years, 5 years from now?
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't live with that mystery, because it's easy to quit. Everyone knows that. It's so easy to quit. You get overwhelmed, you quit. Oh, I'm going to do something else. I'm going to do something else. I was like, I'm not quitting. I'm not. I don't care what it takes. They're not going to prevent me from getting this license, starting this business, and making a better life for my family.
Love it. Coming out of COVID, coming out of all the licensing issues, what was your first taste of success with the business?
So I needed to get my name out. I was like, because now I'm competing against like these franchises, 1-800-JUNKS, College Hunks, whatever they're called, like all these places, right? So I'm like, how does a small local business get his name out? Whatever. So I was like, all right. I started doing jobs I was underbidding jobs, and it's not something that I typically would do, but I was like, I got to start somewhere, right? I need people to know that I'm a good person.
Yeah.
And what happened was, at the time, I didn't have social media. I'm like archaic when it comes to social media. I'm horrible with it. And I didn't have anything. So I found out that later on, I found out that there's these forums in towns. Like, you know how East Hanover has the East Hanover page?
Yeah.
People recommend you.
Yeah.
Those places can make or break you, those things. So I was I got a call for an old couple in Madison, and it was in a townhouse development. And this lady was the sweetest lady in the world. I go in her house, and she's giving me a walkthrough of everything she needs removed. She'll point to like an umbrella, a tiny little garbage can, a little ShopRite bag of like whatever's in there. And I'm telling her as we're going around taking pictures of all this stuff, and I was like, man, with all due respect, like, I'm an honest guy. I was like, you can throw this out with your regular garbage and you don't have to pay someone like me. She's like, no, there's more. Make a long story short, she was pointing out all these things that were all little things. And again, I said, listen, you can literally throw this out, whatever. She was adamant of me giving her a price. So I was patient, I was transparent, I was honest with her, I was very approachable.
Yeah.
You know, she welcomed me in her house. I was, complimenting things. And all of a sudden, so I give her a dirt cheap price. I'm like, what am I going to charge? Like, I'm not going to take advantage of her. It's an old couple. Like, they probably don't have much money. And she was so happy. She apparently went on this Madison/Chatham or something forum. I'm not kidding you. In the next 2 weeks, I think I got about 8 or 9 jobs in Madison and Chatham. And I didn't put 2 and 2 together, because at the time I didn't know about the forum.
Yeah.
And everyone who's calling me and texting me, they're like, hey, you're all over Madison, Chatham. Like, they're saying junk removal, you're the guy to go to, this and that. And I was like, what the hell happened?
What the fuck?
And then finally, I finally was like, I got to ask a couple of these people. And they're like, yeah, there's like 8 people that recommended you. And I'm like, what the hell? And again, I'm going to attribute this back to my grandparents and my parents. By just being a good person, by just being honest, by just doing the right thing, by not taking advantage of somebody, my business blew the F up.
You can say fuck.
My mom might see this.
Okay.
All right, blew the fuck up. It blew the fuck up. And it was like, to the point where I almost couldn't keep up.
Sorry, Mom.
Yeah, sorry. Well, my dad would be more mad. But
Well, you weren't allowed to curse?
well, my dad, he didn't like cursing. He still to this day. Me and my brother are grown. If you said this sucks instead of this stinks, my dad gives you a look. It's so weird. I don't know why, but
We'll bleep it out. We'll bleep it out.
yeah, no, whatever. My dad likes me. We're good. So I was like, just by being an honest person and by just taking time with her and being personable, that avalanched into crazy numbers.
Yeah.
And to this day, Madison, Chatham, Florham Park. Finally, I'm in East Hanover. I didn't know what I was doing wrong. I was getting nothing in East Hanover. And now, I mean...
Tough crowd.
Yeah, tough crowd. But no, now I'm really busy in East Hanover.
That's awesome.
But that's what I think it was. I think I was just being like myself, and again, I'm no angel. I've made plenty of mistakes. When I was younger, I was nuts. I was wild.
You are an angel, though. Your name's Angelo.
Yeah, I am. That's the Italian angel. Yeah.
I'm corny as fuck.
That's as close to an angel as I get to is most of my name.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Again, it was just, I've seen if you go on my website, which I haven't updated since I started, I don't even know what it looks like, but I did like a bio. And the most important part of the thing, my motto in my business, actually it's on my business cards, is doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's a cliche, but doing the right thing. I do the right thing. And I say in the bio section, I've witnessed people as I was growing up get taken advantage of by contractors. And to this day, it bothers me. Yeah. It really bothers me. I don't know how as a man you can look at yourself in the mirror after you took advantage of an old couple, a single mother, someone who doesn't have much money.
Well, maybe someone that doesn't even know, like...
They don't know,
pricing and all that shit.
And we know, if you're in this business, the garbage business, you know what the costs are to get rid of stuff. You know what... Listen, I'm not saying do things for free. I'm not saying do things for cheap. It's a business at the end of the day.
Yeah.
If I'm leaving my family, I'm leaving my family to make money. I'm not in this to not make money. You know?
Yeah.
But there's a good happy medium
a fine line.
where you can be a good person. Chris, I don't advertise at all. I don't advertise at all. All of my business is referrals.
Yeah. Well,
and I think that says a lot.
It's amazing.
It says a lot.
100% of it.
I mean, the most advertising was when me and you were trying to hook up a year ago or so, and our schedules just weren't in sync, and I didn't have a job. But like, other than that, it was like, I never paid money for advertising. Yeah. I tried once mailers. It was the biggest scam in the world.
Yeah, those can get very expensive.
But you know what?
But they could also be good though, depending on what, geographically.
I got scammed. I feel like. I don't think it's a scam. I have a printer, a guy who's a printer who does all my printing and stuff. And we made the flyers, and he explained the whole thing. Through USPS, you could buy like routes and stuff on the website. So I was hitting Florham Park a couple sections, Madison and Chatham a couple sections. I purposely picked a couple of blocks where I knew people that lived on there. Because I wanted them to hit me up and be like, oh my God, I got a mailer from your business in the mail. They never hit me up. So what I did was my one friend lives in Florham Park and another woman lives in Madison. And I hit them up. I was like, did you ever get a mailer from me? Because you should have. They're like, no. So I was like, wait, out of 1,000 houses that I hit, I knew 2 people and I'm 0 for 2. Now, if you told me that 2 people out of 1,000 didn't get mailers, that's not a big deal. They stick together. You don't always get them. But it's 100% that 2 people that I put on that thing didn't get them. And after that, I was like...
Something's a little fishy.
I don't know what happened, but why wouldn't they have gotten the mailers?
Yeah.
So after that, it just worked out for me where, again, like, it's all referrals.
Gotcha.
And it was, can't complain.
So, Angelo, what's been the biggest mistake you've made in your business?
I never really had anything catastrophic mistake-wise. Like, I mean, in the beginning, obviously, like, just I underbid on jobs that I wasn't, they were so time-consuming, and I didn't factor in because I was going through the licensing part. The licensing only basically is, I have my own dumpsters that I can dump. You can still work before that, but I have to rent dumpsters from other people that have dumpsters. And I think undershooting like jobs, I mean, there was 2 jobs I can think of, both in Parsippany, both of them were sheds. I lost money on 100%. I had to rent a jackhammer. It just turned out to be a disaster. But I wouldn't really, I mean, I would say, I'm going to tell you a story that could have been a mistake. I don't know if it's really for my business or just my personal thing. So I got hooked up with this guy who's very successful, very wealthy. Basically, he wanted me to do a job for him. He accepted my price. I would have made a ton of money, and it would have led to consistent work from him. And now you have to think, this is probably, my daughter was like 3 or 4. So this was a few years ago, still like kind of in the beginning stages. And basically I wanted to do this job more than anything. And I knew it would take my business to even the next level. And he was on a tight schedule.
Yeah.
And he was like, listen, I need it done on this day. And there was nothing that was going to stop me from doing it on that day. If I had to take off from something, whatever, I said, yes, you got my word. I'm going to be there on that day. So, all right. My daughter, she has autism. And like, I don't know why I still get choked up, but she's nonverbal. She was going to a school at the time in Livingston, and she had to be like 4 years old, 3 years old. And I booked this job, and I'm all excited to take my business to this next level. Her school, last minute, sends us an email saying, hey, it was in October. We're going to do a trunk or treat for the kids. Here's the date. And guess when the date was and the time? Right when I already gave this guy who's going to take my business to the next level. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Yeah. Like, this can't be happening to me. Like, I was like, so I said to the guy, I gave him my word. Now I'm thinking about all day. I'm thinking about like, I'm going to miss this, like, for my daughter. Now, mind you, when I tell you my daughter's nonverbal, she's still to this day, she's going to be 7 next month. She has no idea what Halloween is. She has no idea what trick-or-treating is. She has no idea what costumes are. She doesn't partake in the trunk or treat.
Yeah.
She doesn't do anything. She would have never have known if I didn't show up. It would have made no difference to her, nothing. So it's beating me up all day. I'm driving my car. My brain became like paralyzed. I couldn't think of anything else. And my wife doesn't even notice. I don't even think I told her this story. And I remember I was driving up Route 10 from Livingston I made it all the way up past JR Cigars in Whippany, and I'm turning around. I don't even know. I'm pointlessly driving. I was so flustered thinking about this. It was affecting me inside so bad that I gave this guy a commitment, and now I don't know what to do. And
you were on your way.
No, I wasn't on the way to do a job. I talked to him on the phone. We locked the job down on the date. I get an email saying, oh, by the way, we're doing this trunk or treat for the kids. So the parents are more than welcome to participate, more than welcome to come to see your kids do this and that. And it's a full-blown special needs school. Everyone there either has autism, something, and a lot of the kids don't understand. But my daughter was very like to herself. Like I said, she's nonverbal, so she didn't participate in any of the stuff at all. She would have no idea if I didn't go to this thing. But it was eating me alive. And I'm like, it's eating me alive. So I had to pull my car over because, like I said, I was just driving aimlessly. I couldn't think about anything else for the rest of the day. Now, this isn't the time I drop her off from school. I'm talking to this guy. I'm doing my rounds. I'm doing estimates. I'm doing whatever. And I get this email from the school. I had to pull my car over because tears were actually coming down my face. It was insane. And all I'm thinking is like, God, I'm happy my windows are tinted. Like, no one in town's going to see me like bawling like a little girl. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, and I just had like a moment where I was like, I'm like, what kind of man are you? I'm like, you're gonna, even though your daughter doesn't even know, you're gonna shoot this money over an experience. And at the time, she was my only kid at the time. I have another one since. I'm like, you have one kid. Who cares that she doesn't know? Who cares if she doesn't participate? It's an opportunity for you to be a dad. I was like, I gotta call this guy. So I called the guy, and in my head, I'm sitting there like, this guy's going to read me out. He's successful. He's going to be like, you're not built for business. There's sacrifices that come with this. If you want to take it to the next level, you got to do what you got to do, and you can't turn. I'm thinking this is what he's going to say, and I'm like, oh. But in my mind, I was like, it's the right thing to do. I don't care. There's no amount of money. You can offer me $1 million. I won't miss something for my kids. So I said to the guy, I was like, listen, I'm so sorry. I really want to work with you. I do more than anything. I was like, I got a call from my daughter's school, an email, And I was like, I have something I have to go to for her that I can't miss. Bro, I thought this guy was gonna like really like berate me. You know what he said? He goes, you're a good father. And like, dude, when he told me that, he was like, you're a good father. You're doing the right thing. He goes, guess what? These jobs will come back. He was like, don't worry about this. We'll work together. And I couldn't do that job because he really was on a schedule. I lost a lot of money, but there's no amount of money that for me. And guess what? I do jobs for this guy to this day because he loves me. He saw me as like, you're the type of man who would pass up all this money for, and I'm not saying all this money. It wasn't an astronomical amount of money, but it was a good paying job with a lot more to come. And I guess it was just like he respected it. And
Dude, I'm fucking crying over here.
I'm sorry. I'm trying my hardest.
Dude, we can honestly end this fucking podcast right now. That's
You're the first person to make him cry.
Am I? I'm sorry about that. I didn't have intention to make you cry.
Because I think about my son. Like I think about, you know.
I'm telling you, listen. If it's one thing I learned from this experience, and whether he was understanding or not, whether
Family over money, bro. Family over money.
100%. There is the number one thing I live since I matured. I told you earlier, growing up, I was out of my mind nuts. I was immature or whatever. Since I matured, my kids saved my life, by the way. When I had kids, I live for them now. Every decision I make, when I want to do something stupid, I'll never do it because they depend on me. And it's my obligation. I brought them into this life. I'm going to make sure they're always good, and I'm going to make sure I'm always there and that they're always taken care of. But if it's one thing that I learned, the number one thing since I've created my own family that I live by, and I wish I knew it, when I was younger, I lived this way, is that time is the most precious commodity in life. You're never getting a second back. You're not guaranteed tomorrow. Anything can happen. I would do anything to go back and be able to talk to my grandparents, friends I grew up with. Now, that passed away. But like, I was like, bro, I can never choose money over a kid. And listen, everyone has to do their things. It's not like, it's a common thing. Like, you have these huge CEOs, these guys that run pharmaceutical, they're making tens of millions of dollars a year. Listen, there are some sacrifices. Like, I don't think you're a bad person if you miss your kid's soccer game, whatever. I'm just in a position where I don't need to do that. I don't want to do that, so I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to judge anyone for doing that. It happens every day. Listen, it's a hard burden to be a parent. I'm not trying to sound like sexist or anything, but more importantly, a father, because I'm old school and I feel like, you know, you have two incomes coming in these days.
Yeah.
And, but like to be a dad, you feel like you have that burden on your shoulders to take care and provide for your wife and your kids. So you want to it's hard. Like, you want to be there, but you have to make money to make that happen. And it's a hard, fine line. And I'm just in a fortunate situation where I'm not strapped. I will not. I'm telling you right now, Chris, if you told me your neighbor across the street is going to pay me 20 grand to do something at his house, and it's a day where I have something going on for my daughter, and it's a milestone that I don't want to miss, something at her school, whatever, I don't care that she still to this day doesn't understand what it is. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. You can take that 20 grand and shove it up your ass. I'm going with my daughter 100 times out of 100. And that's how, like, I really think when you put things in perspective in life, that's what it's about. That's what life is about. I need to be able to look myself in the mirror.
That's a fucking man right there, bro.
I need to look myself in the mirror. I would not, if I took that money over my daughter, how as a man would I be able to look in the mirror, and even though she doesn't know, I would sit there and be like, what did you do?
You're gonna laugh right now. You're gonna laugh.
I need to laugh because I'm trying not to shed tears. If people are gonna see this, my reputation's gone. By
tears
the way,
are good, bro. Yeah. Tears are good. Reputation.
I try to put on the, you know.
But like the more and more you're talking about this, like, you know, family over money, it's like even this morning, went to the fucking Easter egg hunt at the park. Were you there?
No, I didn't even know about it.
Yeah. And like, I didn't really want to go, but it's for my son, right? And we're there. It's like 20 minutes that we're there. And my wife, after my son was done collecting all the eggs, my wife was like, all right, we're going to go over by the fire truck. And like, now that you just said this, now I feel fucking guilty because instead of going with my son and my wife and her family to the fire truck, I was like, all right, I gotta go. And then I ran, got in my car, and came here to set up for the first guest this morning. So it's like,
Yeah, but you can't
like,
kill yourself over that because, like
no,
I
I know,
said, dude, you're trying your best. You're being a good husband. You're being a good father. You're trying to do everything you can to give your kids a good life. And guess what? There was this guy that I know. This is a nut job, but he always used to say, "Love don't pay the bills," and it doesn't. Like, it's unfortunate, but guess what? This is real life here.
yeah,
If this is your business, right? You get your hands in. I know you get your hands in a lot of different things, but you have to make the moves to provide for a family.
exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, to me, I think it could have been to me. I don't know if it had to do because just my daughter has autism, and I don't know if it was that or whether she didn't. If I would have, I probably still would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
But you can't beat yourself up over that. I question myself on things I do every day.
Yeah.
You're never gonna get 100%. But like if you have good intentions in your heart, that's all you can ask.
That's all that
for.
matters.
That's all that matters. You know what you need to do for your family. Do it.
Love it, man. Like I said, we could end the podcast right now, but I do have 5 questions.
I'm having fun.
I do have 5 questions that I ask every guest,
Okay.
and we call it the Forged 5. You ready for them?
Let's go.
All right. What is a habit that you attribute most of your growth to?
Old school, Italian American hard work. It's the upbringing I told you about already. The standard I have for myself, the expectations I keep for myself, I try to have an expectation higher than the next guy.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I always resort back to my family, and I think I need to make them proud, and they would be proud if I'm working honestly, if I'm working hard, and I'm doing everything I can in my power to do right and help the next person. And I don't think I think there's just that mindset of, the thing I like about the old school work ethic and everything is that you can hit rock bottom in life. You can go broke. If you have that work, if I went broke tomorrow, if I lost
You'd
my
be all
house,
right.
I'd be all right because I have the mentality that I can start from nothing. My business started from nothing. I didn't inherit this business. My dad didn't own this business. My grandfather didn't own it.
Built
It's not
it
like
from
I
the
took
ground
it
up.
over.
Yeah.
I took it over I didn't even have funds. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I did it. And what it comes down to is that, like, I just won't take no for an answer. I won't let someone else, the guidance counselor, dictate what I do for a living. And I'm gonna be okay because I know I always have that. And my wife will always be good. My kids will always be good because no matter what happens in life, money's not everything, but no matter what happens in life, they have me, and I'm the type of person that won't lose. I just refuse. I won't. You can take everything from me right now. Just leave my family, my dog.
Yeah.
That's it. You take my house, you take cars, take everything. I'll get it all back.
Fucking love it. I fucking love it. What's a failure that you're most grateful for?
Oh man, failure that I'm most grateful for. Like business related.
Could be business, could be personal.
Failure that I'm most grateful for. I would say it's I held people to expectations. Whether it was friends, colleagues, other business owners that were involved with me. I held them to such a high standard that I live by, an expectation I live by. So when they came up, in my opinion, short or something, I was like if you were supposed to show up for a job for me, like if you tell me be here at 12, I'm here at 11:45, and I'm here. You're not with your kids right now. You're not with your wife right now. You're setting aside time.
You're respecting that
for
time.
me.
Yeah.
And I respect that. And I'm not gonna come late. I'm not gonna not show up. And you're like, yo, where are you? What happened to this kid?
Yeah.
I don't like when people do that. I hold people to high expectations, and I'm all about, just like delivering. Like, and stuff happens, but
So the failure is when people fall below your expectations.
I think it's just putting too much trust and too much expectations on someone and expecting them to be to my standard.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a failure. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't had like business failure really. I mean, I'm not like this huge company where I've had anything catastrophic.
Yeah.
Other than stuff I previously mentioned.
Yep.
I don't really have anything.
Gotcha. What's one truth you wish you learned sooner?
One truth I wish I learned sooner, I would say, one thing would be focus on the quality of your friends and not the quantity of your friends. I keep a tight circle now. Growing up, I was like, I
All
was
over
friends
the
with
place.
everybody.
Yeah.
And I never had a falling out, but I was friends with everybody. But as time goes on and you see people have their little intentions and little things, and I just am the type of person where you give me 5 solid soldiers in my corner, I'll take that over 200 regular, people that I don't know if I can trust.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But that, like, I would say that, and a big thing for me is don't worry about what other people are doing. I feel like people compete against each other. People are in each other's business. Oh, how's Crystal Forge doing? How much money is he making? What's his house look like? What's he driving? Is his am I going to hate on his business because he's trying a new venture? I don't worry about any. I would not have social media if it wasn't for my business. I wouldn't have it. I'm not interested in it.
Yeah.
And I just stay in my lane. I focus on myself, my family. I think there's so much. Life is hard as it is. When you have all these side distractions and you're counting this guy's money, you're worried about what this guy's doing. I don't care. I just wish everyone the best.
Yep.
You're on your own. You do your best. If I can help you, I can help you. But what it comes down to is that, like, when you start worrying about so many other things, how can you really focus and be the best version of yourself without those distractions? How can you be the best husband you can be? How can you be the best father you can be? Your mind is here, and there. But when you just get it down to life gets, what are you having your second kid now?
Yeah. In June.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So when you have your second kid, watch how more busy your life gets. So what do you have to do? I limit my stressors in life.
Yeah.
If something stresses me out, I want no part of that anymore. I'm done with it. So I focus on the main things. All right, I need income to survive. So my business, my job, everything. Family before that. So I make sure my wife's always good, my kids are always good, my parents.
Your fitness, your health.
Fitness, health, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
I'm very into that. And that's it. That's really it.
Matthew McConaughey, I don't know if you're a fan of his, but he did like a speech at this university that I think he attended, or maybe he was just like a guest speaker.
Texas A&M maybe, wasn't it?
Yes.
So.
And then
I didn't see the speech, but I do remember hearing things about it.
He was talking about like buckets that you need to fill every day, right? You have your career bucket, you have your family bucket, you have your health bucket, and you just gotta keep crediting. I think that's the word to use, crediting those buckets instead of debiting from them.
Yeah. You invest
I think that's
in what's
so
important.
Yeah.
You're investing in what's important. And as you get older and you mature more and more, like, the things I thought success when I was younger were mansions and expensive cars and materialistic things. That's what I thought success was. Like, now as I get older, I'm like, if I come home to kids that smile when they see me and don't resent me, they love me, they don't resent me. If I come home to a wife who's genuinely happy with me, and she's not like just there because like, oh, we have kids and we have to make it work. Like, my wife's awesome. My kids, I feel like I hit the lottery.
Yeah.
And that's what's important. Like, you just got to focus on, like he was alluding to, Matthew McConaughey, you invest in what is important. And what I was saying earlier before you brought him up was weed out the bullshit. Weed out the stress.
Yeah.
I don't have time for it. You know what I mean? I don't have time.
Another thing you mentioned is like you got to figure out what you don't want in life in order to figure out what you do want. That's powerful too.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah. That's great.
It sounds so simple.
No, yeah, it's not.
But it's like complex.
A lot of this stuff is easier said than done.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I just think if you. And it's not in a selfish way of speaking, like only focus on you. That's your obligation.
Yeah.
It's not you anymore. It's not Chris LaForgia, who's a single guy and who can do what he wants and can go out on a whim and buy an Escalade and a motorcycle. No, now you have an obligation. Yep. You married somebody and you had kids with them. So I look at it like this. My wife married me knowing how I am. She knew that when she married me, she obviously, like, she knew, all right, this is the type of kid that's a hardworking kid. She never is going to have to worry about stuff. I'm always going to make it work.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So I have a standard to live up to that. Yeah. I don't get to just marry her and now forget about everything that, like, she signed up for. Like, you know what I mean? Same thing with my kids. I said it earlier. You bring these kids into the world. They didn't ask to come to the world. You have an obligation to make sure they're... My biggest thing is that, like, so when my family came over from Italy, they settled in Newark. 3 out of 4 of my grandparents were born and raised in Newark. My mother's father was actually from the Bronx, but he eventually came over to Newark with my grandmother and whatever. So they grew up. They went from Italy, came over here with probably not a pot to piss in. They set the example of being hard workers, entrepreneurs, starting their own business, being honest people, working every day, whatever. They gave my grandparents a better life than they had, right? So my grandparents, in turn, same thing. Like my 2 grandmothers never even got their licenses, but my grandfathers were workhorses. They were amazing, the best role models you can ask for. They gave my parents a better life than they had. My parents had a good life growing up. They were born and raised in Newark, but I know how my grandparents are. They had a good life. They gave me and my brother an even better life than they had. I don't know how I'm going to top that with my kids because I had a great upbringing, but my goal is, that's my mindset. My goal is now I have to do whatever it takes to give my kids a better upbringing than I had, and I had a great one. It's nothing against my parents. I had a great one. And then I'm going to teach them, my son, I'm going to teach them, like, this is what you have to do. You give your kids, you strive to give your kids a better upbringing than I gave you. And if you have that mindset, how can you fail? How can you fail? You're always trying to
raise the bar.
They say the only person that wants to see you do better than them is your father. And that it's true.
Some powerful shit right there, bro. Fucking awesome, dude. So when things get overwhelming in life, with the business, what do you do to stay grounded?
I think about what my purpose in life, and that's my family. I mean, I don't want to sound repetitive, but the things we've been talking about, that's what motivates me. And that's what, like, when things get hard, that's how I look at never to give up. Like, you have people that depend on you. You literally have people, when you have kids, you have people that depend on you. Sometimes even a wife. But my wife is very hardworking. She's very independent. But when things get hard, like I said, there was times where I wanted to quit. I couldn't do it because I'm like, how can I? And then, so it's 2 factors. It's my family that I've created with my wife and kids. I always think about them. Every decision I make is for them. Everything I do is for them. I don't, like I said, you're not going to ever see me doing nothing too flashy. I want to set my kids up, like, so they're set. And the other factor is my family before I created my own. I always think about my parents, my brother, who's always, he's always had my back. But, like, it's more like my parents and grandparents and their expectation of me, and how, I said it earlier, like, I feel like I owe it to them. You've invested so much in me. You took care of me my whole life. You loved me. You clothed me, sheltered me. My grandparents spoiled the hell out of us. They loved us. And I miss them every day. But that, when you think about them and the times they came from, I came from easy times. We came from easy times. We had the internet. We have all the, they didn't have that to start a business back then. We have every tool we need. ChatGPT. Just think how I always say my grandparents is the best generation, that World War II generation, whatever they're called. Could you imagine if they had the tools we have today? They did it without that. They were successful without that. When they had nothing, they started with literally nothing, poor. So I just think about them and I'm like, how can I make an excuse? How can I quit? And they didn't.
So you're purpose driven.
I'm very,
So you always think about your purpose when things get stressful, chaotic.
My purpose, and like I said earlier, any naysayers. I'm not going to act like I have haters. I don't. I'm no one. But I think when I say naysayers,
just people that doubt it.
I referred back to the guidance counselor, and I referred back to what we were saying earlier, being the smallest kid and taking the long way to the next class because I didn't want the confrontation until, I faced it.
Gotcha. So Angelo, last question. What does Forged for Greatness mean to you?
I would say it just means no matter what wrench is thrown, no matter what curveball you're given, you just never quit. You never give up. You always keep pushing. You think about what means most to you in your life, your family, your friends, your purpose, whatever that may be. And you just keep it moving. Refuse to let somebody dictate what you do. And just be live life, do the right thing. My motto, do the right thing. If you do that, everything falls into place most of the time. I mean, there's things in life you can't control.
Yeah.
But outside of that, you know, anything you can control it, and just keep going. Don't let anyone tell you what to do. Don't let anyone tell you what you can't do. Use it as motivation if that happens, and you know that's what I look at it as.
Keep moving.
Keep going, no matter what. No excuses, no handouts. Just keep going.
Love it. So let's pretend this is a video game. You got to get to level 30. What level are you currently at in life?
Oh. I'm so happy with my family and everything and how we are. I would want to put it at a high level, but I'm going to relate this more to business. And level 30, I would say I'm just getting started. Level 5, something like that. I don't know.
All right.
I have you know, there's still a lot. My brain's always going, so I always have a lot of things.
What's it going to take to get to level 30?
A lot of grit, a lot of toughness, a lot of you know, resilience, and just keep doing what I'm doing. Just you know, I get a lot of support from my wife, family. That, like, you know, I'm not able. I have a 6-month-old at home, and my daughter's gonna be
Congrats.
7 next month. Oh, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. I have a 6-month-old
Boy, right?
Boy, yeah.
What's the name?
Giovanni.
Nice.
Giovanni Gerard Rizzitello. And my daughter Gia. I get help. You know, I couldn't do a business and I couldn't do all these things if I didn't have anyone. Like, we have a nanny for the baby, but like, I have my mother, my father, my mother-in-law, you know, family that helps. Like, what, you know, if my wife's working, whatever, and you know,
Great
they make
support
it.
system.
They help make things possible for me to be able to go out and work. Like,
Yeah.
one of my biggest drawbacks is that I don't want to bother people to take my daughter to school. You know, it's my kid, it's my responsibility. So I take her to school in West Orange at 9 o'clock. By 9 o'clock, I have to pick her up by 2:30. My day doesn't stop. I have to rush to jobs. I have to rush to finish jobs. I have to do everything in that time frame, and then if necessary, I go back later. But it you know, I make it work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Find that balance.
Yeah, of course.
So, what's next for you? For the business, for on a personal level, what's next?
Only time will tell. I never show my full hand, and I always have things in my mind going. Whether it's taking my business through the roof to the next level, whether it's getting my hands into another one, I may team up with my wife and maybe open something with her. She has her little projects and passions that she has. You know, maybe I'll hit up my brother-in-law and be like, "What are you doing? Let's start something."
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, I never show my full hand. My family, even to this day, they're like, "You're a mystery." I mean, I'll come back home with like a new venture, a new idea, a new tattoo, something. They're like, "You don't even say anything to us. Like, you don't even know." Like, I didn't even tell my family when I was getting engaged.
Uh-huh.
I didn't tell my parents not that I was getting engaged. I asked my wife's father passed away, but I asked her mother and brother out of respect for permission. But
Yeah.
I do things without telling people.
Yeah.
Like, you know. So I don't know.
It's a good thing. I mean, it's, you know.
It's a mystery what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
I always flirt around with different things.
Personally, though, like
multiple businesses.
what's next for you on a personal level with the family, vacations, or?
Yeah, we got vacations booked. We always rent shore houses for the week because my daughter's situation. We haven't been on a real vacation, like on a plane out of the country or even in the country, since she was born. Me and my wife used to go away twice a year when we were dating and when we were married before kids. But I didn't know how my daughter would react. And just when I was getting ready to be like, listen, I think she's at the age where let's just go to Florida. It's a 2-hour flight, right? Let's just do it. And what's the worst that can happen? We had another kid. So I was like, I'm not going to bring an infant now. Like, what, you know? So I'm going to give it a few years before we do like a serious vacation. But we like I said, we're renting. We're renting a house 2 different times. And that's it. You know, I'm just trying to be present with my family, watch them grow, and you know, enjoy it. Enjoy it. You got to enjoy every day. You know?
Gotta. So, where can people find you? On Instagram, website?
Yeah, so Instagram, it's Rizzitello _removals _LLC. I'm not active on Facebook. I only have a Facebook because I needed it for the business Instagram. They made me have one, so I wouldn't say that. But I have a website, www.rizzitelloremovals.com. Hasn't been updated in probably 3 years, but my phone number is 973-407-0141. Everyone calls me, texts me, whatever. It doesn't matter what time of night. That's how I'm kind of competing with these bigger franchises, is that I'm available after hours, I'm available at nights. I try to be more personable. It's not business like, oh, I'm closed 9 to 5, so we can't talk to them in the morning. I have realtors that text me at 10:30 at night. Customers. I've had a customer text me at 11:45 at night, and one text me at 5:45 in the morning once.
You gotta
for something
answer.
that was like, I did. But I mean, so yeah, that's how you reach me, and I'm in East Hanover.
Without showing your hand, right? Like, what are the goals for the business? Like, in the next couple years?
To be honest, I always say I don't, it sounds crazy, I don't want to be crazy busy. I don't want that because I don't want it to take away from me. I feel like I can't do that because I want to be present with my family. So I'm happy right now just being steady and being my own boss. Can I take things to the next level? Of course I can. I could have done it a while ago, but it's just like I don't want to start becoming overwhelmed. When you become overwhelmed, you become stressed, and when you become stressed, you no longer like what you're doing. I love what I'm doing. I have OCD. When I actually get satisfaction out of cleaning people's houses out. Like it gives me satisfaction. I'm a very meticulous OCD kind of person. I don't like clutter. So it's been working out for me. And I'm happy. I don't want to ruin being happy.
You don't want to also jeopardize the quality of your service.
Yeah, it's like Friends, quality over quantity. And that's how my business is. And I think that's actually on my website, believe it or not. I say I focus on the quality and not the quantity of my jobs. I don't care about the quantity. I need you to say, I like Angelo Rizzitello. I like him as a person. I like what he stands for, and I'm going to use him. I'm not going to anyone else. And that's how, like I said, I'm all referrals. No money out of pocket.
And he did the right thing.
Always do the right thing.
Love it, man. So before we sign off, I don't know if I asked you this question yet, but I probably did. But I'll ask it again, and you could re-emphasize your answer. What's the biggest lesson overall that you can tell the viewer, tell the listener, that you've extracted from life, and now you could just hand it over to the viewer?
Make your own way. Do what you want to do. If you're passionate about something, just do it. Don't let anyone ever tell you no. Don't let anyone ever put you down. If it's in your heart and you want to do it, just try. You always will have to worry about what would have happened. If I quit this, like I said earlier, I would have worried about what if I stayed with it? How would life have been? So you got to try it. And failure is, I mean, if you haven't failed, you haven't really tried, in my opinion. I failed plenty of times. It's like, you know, a lot of people just want to start a business and say they're a business owner. They don't know what it entails. I was one of them. When I started businesses before this, I was like, oh, I can go around saying I'm a business owner. I didn't know what I had to do. Now I get it. And now luckily I've made it over the hump. And I don't want anyone to ever be discouraged because of another person's opinion. That is cancerous. Like you have to find a way to be mentally strong and tough and persistent and do what you want to do. You get one life. You're not guaranteed tomorrow. Just be happy and do what you want to do.
Awesome, bro.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Chris.
you coming on, man.
Absolutely.
I really do.
Appreciate
awesome stories, powerful.
Thank you.
I mean, you fucking made me cry over here, bro. You probably made Oscar cry too. He has a better way of hiding it.
Oscar don't cry.
Behind all those lights and the camera and everything. Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Once again, plug your Instagram for the people.
Absolutely. It's Rizzitello _removals _LLC. That's where I'm the most active. You know, I got to get back to being a little better with it. I was consistently posting stories and posting all this, but you could see everything I do. There's, you know, the before and afters and everything, all the services I offer. And it's basically, you know, garbage industry, junk removal, clean outs, light demolition, and container rentals. I have dumpsters.
Love it. Love it, man. Awesome. Thank you guys let's do that again. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Forged for Greatness with Angelo from Rizzitello Removals. If you guys got any value out of this, please drop a comment on YouTube, message us on Instagram, and share the show with a friend or a loved one. Once again, greatness isn't given, it is forged. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Music.
Oh,
Dude,
shit,
that was
man.
fucking awesome,
oh my
bro.
God, dude.
You fucking killed it.